Positives? I think as an employee, what you do have, which I sometimes do miss, and I have to make a conscious effort to find avenues, is, and it depends on the context you find yourself in as well, is we're social beings. So we have a social brain. Your interaction with others around you helps to sharpen your own thinking. So you can quite easily, when you are not in a bigger group, quite easily start to go into your own echo chamber and start to think your ideas are so wild, and when you don't have people you can bounce off of, people who can say to you, Claudelle, no, Claudelle, no, you're on the wrong path there. And that I think is a great positive. The sharpening of minds in the context of the social beings being together in the same space. This positive, I would say, entrepreneurship perspective, is that you can move faster. So the one thing about a bigger group is that in bringing people along with you, especially when you're all looking through different lenses, and especially when you're in a situation where there's lack of maturity in the group, or when there is toxicity in the group, you can quite easily find yourself working so hard, but then your efforts almost go into a black hole. Whereas when you're not running in that context and you're the driver, you can run faster. That for me is an absolute positive. The negatives, let's start with entrepreneurship, is that what I find difficult, and I can't speak for everybody, is because I am not of the persuasion that believes that the world as we have created it today under capitalism is the best system for humanity. I am definitely not a hardcore capitalist. What I'm finding difficult to navigate is having to operate in a system that has norms and practices that go against my grain. And if you don't play the game in a certain manner, that you may be excluded. And then having to become comfortable with being excluded in the game in certain contexts. So that is not an easy road to walk on. And I think that a big negative in that regard for lots of entrepreneurs is that I see lots of people lose their way because the pressure then eventually becomes too much, so it almost becomes if you can't beat them, join them kind of scenario. And then the joy is taken out of living your purpose. And so the negatives on the employee side, I sort of touched on it a little bit, but if you're not attached to an organization that has a vision and a purpose that you can align your purpose to, you will be unhappy, for sure. And by my estimation, and this is just based on an anecdotal experience, is that huge portions of our society are not happy in their jobs. They literally are just working and keep on going to work for the money in order to survive. If your whole life is in survival mode, you can't live at optimal level. It's very difficult then to live your purpose. And to have a sense of fulfillment, I think, is so important for us as human beings to be happy.